Herb Adderley etched his name into the NFL record book with this 80-yard interception for a touchdown.
Hope that God can defend him. Yeah, got the world trying to kill him. Yeah.
Welcome you to Candid Conversations here with the Herb Adderley 26 Foundation. I am your moderator, Devon Mason, and today our first guest featured athlete is Patrick Johnson II, former star at McKinley Tech, former star at Bullis, and if my records are right, he would have been the #1 recruit in the nation in 2016. If they went off for offers alone. He had 26 of them, y'all. 26. 26. They don't do it like that anymore, but 26, meaning in the entire United States, he would have been the #1 ranked player. He chose Wisconsin, went on to have a great career there. He's our special guest today, our featured athlete, and I want to welcome you on, and I appreciate you for taking the time out and talking to us.
Thank you.
So first of all, I just want to ask you, what turned you on to football? What made you want to play a sport that's violent, collisions, and I'm a coach, I'm a writer, I'm a podcaster. I love it. Mm-hmm. But for everybody that looks at it like, oh Lord, it's the worst sport ever, give us the reason why you decided to play.
It kind of gave me a sense of freedom. Like, growing up, I had like older sisters and brothers, and everybody had like their own hobbies. Sister was modeling and dancing. My older brother playing football and sports and stuff like that, and track. And I was just trying to find a lane to where like I could emotionally express myself. And sports was easier because you get the competitive dog out too. So you already, you're in the moment. You're not thinking. So I could just like black out, and I hear the crowd, and I hear somebody screaming my name or anything. I'm just right there, like ha ha ha, and just let it out. And that's basically it. Just the emotional freedom I get.
So it was an outlet.
It was an outlet.
It's an outlet for you. Nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful thing. And but the blessing is you were good at it. Damn good at it. Let's remember you were damn good.
Yeah.
That's just called what it is. 4-star recruit. Got his jersey here on the wall at Bullis High School for all you don't know, over here in the corner. Tell us a little bit about how you began at McKinley Tech and how you ended up here way up in beautiful Potomac, Maryland at Bullis High School. Tell us how that transpired.
Real simple. We were just wanting to do something on my own, like wanting to make a name for myself and just like have the confidence that like God's gonna be with me no matter like who's around you. Like you could figure it out about some of the puzzle pieces or like, the gatekeepers and stuff like that. And what turns me off is just seeing gatekeepers or meeting people who could offer you, some type of benefit in life. In reality, like I could go out and just, make my own little dog and do it myself. So that's how I felt. So I picked Tech and just like blacked out, focused on the moment, and just like brought them a championship the second year they played. And then after that, head coach got fired, and then the head coach sent me to Bullis. He ain't sent me to Bullis, but he recommended Bullis because he had like small family and stuff here. And then from there, it was just like windows was open, like the mail was coming in. I got boxes of like just scholarship stuff and stuff like that. But it was really just wanting to do something on my own and just having faith with the small support system and not like reaching out to people I don't know.
That's a good way you put it, support system. It's a village. It takes a village to make it so that these athletes have somewhere they can go and be taught and have an outlet, somebody they can speak with that may not just be your parent. All the time you can't talk to your parents. Sometimes you can't talk to your coaches. You have to have other places you can go and, let yourself be free and speak and tell people how you really feel. Mm-hmm. And just hearing you talk, it sounds like your village, talking to your dad and everything, your village was a great one.
For sure.
So when you got here, Potomac, Maryland, coming from McKinley Tech in D.C., here at Bullis, playing for the Bulldogs, how was that transition? Because that's going from DCIAA to, independently, which is big boy football. This is what you call recruiting at the highest level, you know, big time schools coming there. This is not a...
I would say it was like a little eye-opener for me, just in the sense of like seeing where I rank against other athletes who's transferring to a school just as prestigious as Willis and like competing for the same roles and competing for scholarships within like the same walls, not outside the walls. It's coming in first day of practice. I'm seeing people taller than me, a little bit bigger than me, might be faster than me, and I'm the new face here. So it was like not intimidating, but just like left a question mark on my head, like not am I ready, but is this something that I wanted to do type stuff. And coming from McKinley, it wasn't. I didn't really get that feeling. Not saying like the competition level wasn't the same, but I knew their mindset wasn't the same as people who's coming from us. And that's the huge thing to point out. Like the people you're around, them, people you team with, or how you coach, and the record them players like they help you like lock in. I came here, I got Devontae Williams, Dwayne Haskins, Cam Brown, Jonathan Holland. These people already got like marks on their name.
Yes,
I'm coming
yes.
empty. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, all right, bro, we got to figure this out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm either little dog or I got to catch up with everybody else. And they had me like, yeah, you going to start receiver. I'm at first day on the joint, bro. I'm in Founders Hall. Where you were just, I'm at Founders Hall. They had a meeting with me. They're like, yeah, you going to start receiving. Dwayne Haskins on the other side of the table. You going to start receiving, start safety. I'm like, am I that nice? I don't even go here yet, bro. And
That's beautiful.
it was just living up to that and just seeing it all unfold for real, for real.
That says something about you that, God rest his soul, that Dwayne, best quarterback the state have ever seen. Whoever don't know, Dwayne Haskins, played here, played a game on a broken leg, threw for 447 yards, I believe, and threw the game-winning touchdown in the rain. I saw the game, I live streamed it, and I watched him carry his leg up and down the field in the 2-minute drill to win it all. There he is right there.
Yeah.
Went on to Ohio State to throw 50 touchdowns in his 1 year and was the 15th pick by the Washington Commanders, or the Washington football team at that time in 2019. He sadly lost his life last year, but he was quarterback when Pat was here. I asked your dad, would this be for me to touch this? Would it be something, would he want me to touch it? He said probably so. So just give us a little backstory on your relationship with Dwayne.
Dwayne was a cool guy, cause for me, Dwayne was only 1 year ahead of me when it came to bullets. He came from New Jersey, so he came from a new part of town, like whole new state type stuff. So for me and him, it was still like a whole new interaction. He's new to the DMV area. I'm just new to this section of the city type stuff. So we still feel like newbies, and like that was my brother to the day I rest myself and stuff like that. You know, like walking in every day, getting off the bus, seeing him and stuff like that. That was my guy, but. Like his father, his mother, all them people's like, you don't question like success when you see like the reasons for why they happen, and like when you have like just a support system just like that, it's inevitable to fail, but you also got to put on yourself. You see Dwayne just after school, before school, put in the extra reps and stuff like that, and that type of mentality it bleeds into other people, and like. That's like the way I am now, being persistent and like not caring about what other people think in the sense of what I want to do with myself in the field that I'm good at. Like I could do it, I can put it off. I don't care if you say this is gonna go this way. I have to get the job done. And he really like instilled that like winning mentality, great grades, never really got in trouble, and just played great football. And if you want to look at the score sheet, it's like A+, A+, A+. He did everything right he was supposed to do. Got the job done, came in and out.
True leader, a true leader.
Yeah, that's
a leader. He was quarterbacks have to lead, and I actually when he passed, I did a piece on him. Okay, I done a piece on him when he had a situation with the Commanders, when Ron Rivera benched him, tried to cut him, all that. I was writing pieces on him consistently, just giving him props for how he was handling it, because I felt that the Washington Commanders don't do a good job of developing any quarterback, and especially not black quarterbacks. They struggle with that. Robert Griffin, Dwayne Haskins, same story.
I don't want to get too nosy on that situation.
You know, but
all I can say is that Dwayne had 1 year of college football under his belt playing live football.
He did,
and he balled out, and then went straight to the league and went crazy.
He did. He was unbelievable at Ohio State that 1 year. Just tell me a little bit about your time when you got to Wisconsin. You chose them out of 26 offers. You could have went pretty much anywhere. You had your ticket written for you, and you chose to go to Madison to play for Was Jim Leonard the D coordinator?
Jim Leonard was the coordinator, but that was after I signed.
Okay.
I had another coach. He's actually from this area. He coached at, I think, McNamara, or he went to McNamara.
Okay.
at the time.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
He got DMV blood in him. And
Okay.
Committed. He left. He went to go coach at the Miami Dolphins, and then Jim Leonard came and picked up the job.
Okay.
And that was one of the biggest lessons right there. But even when I got offered, Coach Aranda, who was the coach for LSU at the time, was the person who recruited me and gave me the offer.
Dave Rand?
Yeah, Dave
Okay.
Rand.
He's down in Baylor now.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Yep. So that's good stuff. So when you get to Madison, that's D1. That's Big Ten. That's Big Ten country. That is grown men, corn-fed. We coming to take your head off football. Tell me how that transition was from, because Bullets definitely put you in a place to be prepared, but they can only prepare you so much.
We had this conversation on script though. I was playing against Coach Los and people like that my whole life. So like, against Woodbridge, and we're playing hand down football, 8 in the box. I'm playing with Coach Lottie. We got taking counters and stuff like that. So we always, like, the DMV area, I think we played like the best football because we have the southern weather, the northern weather. So you got the cold air, the hot air, the air raids, and the hand down, cheek-to-cheek football and all that stuff. So when it just comes to preparing outside of it or traveling, I feel like the DMV area holds its ground. If you have to go to Florida, southern, to the west coast, anywhere else, like, I feel like we're just all-around athletes in this area.
I agree with you 100%. I think we get called a basketball hotbed, and I'm like, we play great football too.
That part.
Give us some credit for that. We play good football. Look at the teams in the Max Preps top 25. We have 3 or 4 every year. Now the only states that may have more is Florida, maybe Georgia, and maybe California. That's it. But they got year-round good weather that allows them, and they got money.
Yeah.
They got money. Money, resources make a difference. Make a difference. It does. It makes a difference.
It do.
So for me, we don't get enough love for how we play football. Oh, they're basketball. Yeah, we get that. We're great in basketball. But look at all the guys that have come out of here to play football. Think about it. So when you get to Madison, when did you realize you could play at that level when you got there? You might have realized it when you got there, but when did you have your moment when you said, okay, you know what? I'm ready for this.
I think I kind of always felt like that. It wasn't really like a click moment. I always just, everywhere I went, I was always a new kid, and I was always like a step slower. Might not be the hardest hitting, might not be the fastest, or like have the best hands. But at some point, that same room ain't the same room no more, and I'm not the same guy who I was when I stepped in. But even at Wisconsin, like, my head was on a swivel. I came in locked in, and like I just feel like nobody had the same preparation I had leaving the DMV area, doing prime example, doing coach hours, API workouts, and hanging out with the family, keeping the family tree where it's supposed to be at. And like leaving Bullets, we had to do our own fall camp, spending 2 weeks out in Pennsylvania, I think, and it's day in, day out, 2 days, 3 days. I was already prepared. Our script on practice artillery goes the same as the 5-minute clock, 7-minute intervals, warm-ups, breakdowns, scully, pass on air. It was the same thing. So when I got to college, I'm like, oh, I'm just going through the same schedule. Now I just got music in practice. We just didn't have music in practice in high school. So everything was just like, it was just familiarity for me. And it was like, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
So you said you may not have been the fastest, but you would have known one ranked safety at the Nike game.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember. No one. So you're modest. I give you that. You're humble.
That's
but #1 ranked safety at a Nike camp, that don't happen, bro. Unless you special. That don't happen.
Yeah.
That don't happen.
Appreciate it.
That don't happen. So
Appreciate
that's
it.
dope in itself. Okay, so let's talk. Let's get into the meat of it. Let's talk a little bit about the first time you felt like you may have had a concussion, or you made, first time that you knew that something wasn't right.
At Wisconsin?
At Wisconsin. Well, you had him in high school?
Ooh, they started before high school when I was still at Woodbridge.
Tell me a little bit. Okay, let's get into that. I didn't know that. Let's get into that.
I was hitting my head a lot, but I remember my first time getting a concussion and coming to a practice the next day. Not the practice, we already got scanned out. You're not practicing, but coach was like, look at that goalpost. All right, is it moved? Yeah, and when I said that, that's when I realized, oh, like, this is real. I'm probably like maybe 12, 13 at the time, but I remember at times after that, like, I'm in the pit. Like, I'm not a big fan of like the Alabama drill or like contact on practice. Like, if I'm a coach at little league age, I'm gonna be big on teaching bud and technique and like how to do different practice situations and how to treat your teammates instead of embarrass and bring out fear and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I would teach like proper techniques and how to play a game of football.
Thank you. How to keep your neck on the side of the body and
That
not
part.
throw your head into
No, like this. But no, it was times like I remember going against my best friend. I wake up. I remember seeing stars and my eyes all gone. I'm like, what the hell going on? And like right back, I'm doing it again. And when they got to Wisconsin, it really didn't happen till junior year, for real. But at that time, I already had 2 surgeries. I had a surgery on my shoulder. Senior year of high school, I had surgery on my ankle.
Okay.
So at this point in taking my defense coordinator, not to like act like he had like any persuasion and stuff like that, but like his history of like why he stopped playing football and other people on the team, they had several concussions and they really cared about their mental health and how they like just wanted to be there for their future and for their kids and family like that. And like I said, at the time, we started eating at me, and I had met with this is before the concussion happened, so I feel like I could have spoken to existence, or I probably already had a concussion beforehand. I'm not sure, but I was speaking with different counselors and different athletic personnel. People at the time was talking like what to do if I'm not feeling okay, or if I'm not feeling too confident about the sport no more. And in the sense of risking my body, risking my health and my injury for the sake of something that might be temporary, or that might outlive me longer than I'm gonna live myself. So those thoughts started to come into conversation, and then I get concussion. And then when we started the conversation earlier, you was talking about how it might not be easy to talk to your parents or easy to talk to your coach. Guess who's the first person I'm gonna go talk to?
Teammate?
Head coach. Head coach. Told him how I was feeling about football and those situations. Like, I don't really know this football thing. Too comfortable, you know, my head's kind of feeling funny. And then after that, it was it. And I did my dues in the sense of why I lost my scholarship and stuff like that, because I wasn't on my P's and Q's of using the stipend to like pay for the rent I was supposed to do and stuff like that. Basic little nuanced stuff. But I didn't believe all that was going to come into play if I didn't bring up the conversation about coach, about me telling coach like, I don't really know want to play football no more. My head hurt a little bit the day I got the concussion. And that was like the weird part. That was like a whole shit.
Yeah, you saw a change. You saw a change.
Felt the change.
Yeah, you felt it.
Felt the change.
Because it's now you're not important anymore.
That part. That's
Because you can't help
I'm
me keep my
disposable.
job. You can't help me keep my job.
And that's, I've been feeling like I've been in race mode of how can I leave the feeling of being disposable, being an asset to somebody to where I'm just a pig, you know, I'm just a money grabber. I'm just a kid on the field willing to risk his life for your benefit, you know what I'm saying? And that's now, probably within the last 5 months of my life, it's funny, after trying to learn the instrument, it slowed me down in that race, and I'm a lot more complacent in the sense of being happy where I'm at.
That's beautiful.
That's like the best.
That's what matters.
I can't lie about that.
That's what matters.
And
That's what matters, man.
yeah, that disposable feeling ain't dead no more.
It's not,
I can't say that. I can say
That's
that.
beautiful. That's the thing that coaches don't get. You know, I get it's a business. I get you have to do your job. I get that the alumni is down your back. I get it.
I get it's
But
tradition.
these are lives. We're talking players that want to have families and be able to do for their children when they're older, be able to talk to them like a regular person. You can't do that if your head hurt all the time.
Do that.
You can't. You know, and then you got these guys on all these different meds and that only kind of contains it, but when it comes, you know, CTE is a real thing. It's a real thing. You know, we look at the former players that have been diagnosed with it after death. They say you can't prove it before you die. Okay, Junior Seau, one of the greatest linebackers ever, flipped out, lost his mind, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. He was in pain, he was suffering. But he didn't know how to tell people this. We're talking a 250-pound Hall of Famer, freak of nature linebacker that just didn't know how to let folks know. So the anxiety, the depression, all that comes into play. Comes into play. So tell us a little bit about that part, about that when you started feeling that anxiety, that depression, that being sped up, when
So,
you know,
I
things
felt
like
like
that.
I was semi-prepared for that.
Okay.
Because when I first got into college, I was already very antisocial with my support system.
Good.
It's like I left and I just like got quiet, never returning calls, texts, and stuff like that. And that's when I felt like I felt a detachment between that system, and I felt myself like not going downhill. Like I still had like good reps, good good results and everything I wanted. But in the sense of like me, how I talked to myself and how I was viewing my things, it just didn't feel correct. So by the time I got my concussion and stuff like that, I already been seeing mental health people, got back with my father, got back with my mother, and it's just of like, this is how we should be communicating. I need help thinking this out, or like, what's the next step, what's the next process? And that's how it's been now to this point of using my people, using my resources, using the people who got me there. So when it came to depression and stuff like that, it was just more so stay busy, stay active, no matter what, just keep moving. And keep having an idle mind is like very treacherous for any human. You know? But
It's a devil's workshop.
that's all I try to keep myself doing, even if it wasn't towards football. But just try to stay busy. For 2 years, I tried to get back another scholarship. I actually did. I went to Southeastern Louisiana.
I remember.
I went back home, took a year off. Then I enrolled myself in a community college.
Okay.
Did 2 years there, got my credits done, went to Southeastern Louisiana, COVID, and then that's when I lost that last scholarship.
Gotcha. Okay, so when you lost a scholarship at Wisconsin, and you trying to figure out the next step, and your mind is saying, your body's probably, your head is saying it hurts, but this is what you do. This is what you've always done.
That's what I'm saying. It's not, this is what I want to do. This is the only thing I know how to make a living. But now my question is, do I want to be one of the players who play arena football for another 10 years of my life and just keep hitting myself, or traveling, or just, do I want to miss another Thanksgiving? Do I want to miss Christmases? Do I want to miss a whole summer again? I kind of miss, I missed a lot, actually, going through high school. The 26 offers wasn't no welcome, there you go, jackpot. No, it wasn't. I was 3:15 after every day. When the season's off, I'm on the field by myself. Hey, we going to Florida. Y'all go here. I got some camps to go to. I'm like, travel. I got to go to Rutgers. I got to go here. And like now, I just want to slow down and appreciate the moments. Like my grandmother passed recently, and I wish I spent more time with her and other people like that, bro. I wish I was just able to be just present for a lot of things, and that's all. And I don't want to miss any more moments.
That's beautiful.
That's like the reason why I don't get into coaching. I did coaching, Little League flag football. We did great. I was a great DC. Kids love me. I love the people. They still want me to coach, but it's like I don't want to give my time back to the game when I really feel like I didn't have time for myself. You know what I'm saying?
For all of you who don't know, Pat just gave you the life of a real Division I athlete. There is no off season. There is no downtime. You don't get that. You don't. Your downtime is with your teammates, because that's your family. They pretty much become your family. Am I right? They pretty much your family the whole time.
Thanksgiving with them. I had one Thanksgiving was in my dorm room. My first Thanksgiving in Wisconsin dorm room. I was deep too. I had ordered 40 nuggets, you know what I'm talking about? Deep fries and all that. No roommate either. He back home. He went home. Then by myself.
I know that's right. Tell me a little bit about the last 5 months. You say you've gotten to a place where you feel good about yourself again. Yes. So that time down where you were trying to figure it out and you were, battling, just trying to become Patrick Johnson II again.
That's it.
That's it.
And so I say 5 months because that's when I really feel like my wings probably came into like fruition. Like, okay, I'm P. Like I'm back to being PJ too. But it's really been like 3 years. It was chilling in my mom's basement, going to my grandmother's house, and just trying to debate, first of all, what do I want to do? And I never had an answer for that. Like I never had, what you gonna do today? Don't know what you do. What you gonna do with your life? What you gonna do? What you gonna do for your career? I really don't know what to do. I know what I like to do, but I don't know how to make these things into something that would manifest a life. You know what I'm talking about? Something that would bring revenue. And I'm not looking for a revenue in the sense of I need to break this off, but it's in the sense of like, if any emergency happens, I'm able to take care of myself plus others. And that's what like the past 3 years has been chasing, but like the past 5 months been cool though. I've just been focusing on this, like I said, slowing down. Actually, during those 3 years, I picked up a lot of like engineering, that's dope, man. Little engineering, like little bugs in my head that's for like audio and software and
you've proven to yourself that football ain't everything.
Football ain't
It's
everything.
life outside of football.
The life outside of football.
You've proven that to yourself.
That led me to being a sound engineer in the church.
That's beautiful. That's awesome.
Wow, this is something.
So this is what you call a redemption story.
That part.
Because to have everything on a platter like it was looking NFL, all that, and to have what you had happen kind of ruin, take all that away, for you to be sitting here and able to talk about that is amazing.
It's chill.
And you're here.
That's the biggest thing.
And you're in a mental capacity that you understand what's going on. That's a blessing. You're able to talk and be able to express yourself and to let out how you feel, which is what we hope to accomplish with this. Anyone watching, this is what we're here for, a safe space. This is not a place where you can't be yourself. We want you to come in here, we want you to open up and tell us what you want to tell us. If you don't feel comfortable, we're not going to force you. But if you feel like you want to let it out and you couldn't let it out anywhere else, this is where you come. This is what we're doing. The Herb Adderley 26 Foundation has a great thing, and I am honored to be able to just do this with them. I think it's going to go big. I think we have such big things that are going to happen with it. But again, a lot of young athletes, not just football, all sports, deal with things that they can't talk about or don't want to talk about. This is a safe space. The Herb Adderley 26 Foundation, look them up. Go in there. Tony Adderley, her daughter, her son, have put together a great situation. And me and Patrick, we know he's the featured athlete and I'm the moderator. We're just happy to be a part of it. We want to have the youth speak, talk. Don't keep that in. Please don't keep that in. I saw something that you put in your bio, and I want to read it about, let me read it, give me a second. Let me pull it up. I saved it here. This is what you said. There isn't anything I cannot do.
Oh yeah, I know that about it.
A model that I strongly believe in. It resonates with the characteristics that detail who I am today, a child of God. After my academia and traditional school systems, elementary, high school, and college, the course of life seemed to restart despite the accolades, accomplishments, and rewards granted to me. Upon returning home from college was a realization that after all the years I spent playing football, working toward a specific goal, it was over and no longer existed. Injuries made the end of football abrupt. I felt as if time had been wasted. I convinced myself that I had not done enough. While soaking in depression and stressing over the time that I could not get back, I began to search for new avenues to broaden my horizons. I felt I had to start from scratch again with new goals. Returning home after 4.5 years of college, every segment of my life started with me, Patrick Johnson II, being beneath the underdogs. I was not considered during the top player evaluations. Nevertheless, the attributes of consistency and persistence gave me the edge in life I needed to succeed. I block out the noise and I keep my goal in sight. Currently, I have embarked on new adventures, made courses with new friends, and more than ever have learned the importance of staying focused on what's meant for me. Now you tell me how someone has been through what you've been through can say all that.
Because it's chill.
Because you're a child of God.
Child of God, I got faith. That's the pop.
You said it best.
That's the pop.
That part of the
I
beginning.
get to wake
you
up,
said
I got hot water, I get to go to sleep, I'm still with my kids.
There you go.
Like,
There you go. There you go.
That's the part that matters. I got somebody to lean on if I don't have nothing for myself.
That's
And
right.
I'm not leaning on them by choice. It's life circumstances. When it's time to get to walking, I'm ready to run. You know what I'm talking about?
That is awesome.
Not talking about
That
gallons.
is absolutely awesome, man. This is a redemption story. These are not stories that happen a lot when athletes of his caliber abruptly, as he put in his bio, have it end overnight. That doesn't happen. That to have him sitting here with us in the physical is huge, because it could have been the other way. Because literally, when you've done it, at the level he's done it at for so long, to have that taken away, most guys wouldn't be able to handle that. And like he said, through God's grace and his circle and people that care about him, he's able to get up every day and to smile again and to get to be a Patrick that he didn't think he could probably be outside of the game of football. I coach. I see kids every day. Oh man, I don't know what I'm gonna do if I can't. Well, you got to figure out something else, because there's no guarantee this gonna last. You have to have another way of living, because there's no guarantees.
And it's not that scary either. Like, I'm happy football ended, because life is really, all the fears you have about what's to come and what might happen if you walk through this door, if you try something new, It's not that bad once you do it, and you'll be surprised like how many things you can freestyle in life and really be like, okay, now if I put in some work behind it, I can be like really nice. So just take the step. And nobody, this is what I like figured out. Nobody in the world know what the heck they doing in this stuff, bruh. Nobody. I don't think nobody had it planned out but the things on their planner, and they didn't plan that out. That's just assignments they got. They got homework assignments and stuff like that. Outside of that, everybody waking up on the same agenda. What I gotta do to make sure tomorrow's gonna be a little bit better. So you just gotta figure it out before the next man do, or the next woman do. That's all.
It's good stuff. Anything else you wanna?
I don't really feel like it. Just my biggest thing is just make sure people just talk for real. I was talking to one of my best friends, so I just met at a job I'm working at. Like I said, I don't mind. Like it's dangerous, and if you're talking to yourself, you don't know what lines that might bring you. But if you have a different head with you, a different perception, or a different voice to interact with you, it might steer you in a direction that you didn't know was possible. Everybody got different little driver's seats. So just share stories with somebody who you're comfortable with. Possibly my favorite thing is sharing stories with random people or somebody new. That you don't get their fears of like what may happen because they don't really care about you in the sense of like, I want you to do this and that. They just also care about you in the genuality of you being a human. So just find somebody you can trust and share them stories with, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
So you guys hear it? Patrick Johnson II. He's come through. He has given us the intimate details of his journey from D1 football star to having it all in to now just his recovery and being back, feeling like a human being again.
That part, I really feel like I'm Pat Johnson II again. It took I used to tell my friend like I'm gonna be back being me. Like I used to walk around with my head down, looking at the ground, but like now I go look up and be confident. I could, the awkward stare when people do like they didn't want to look at me, so I can look at somebody in the eye the whole way.
It feels good about you.
I feel good, bro.
Yes,
I know who I am.
Yes.
I know what I'm capable of. And
That is
first
right.
sentence. There's nothing in life that I don't think I can't do.
That's awesome.
And God showed me that.
That's awesome.
So I just gotta keep having faith.
That's
in God.
awesome.
That's all.
That's it, man. You got the right mindset. You got the right path. You're speaking. The way you speak is strength for anybody that sees this. This is going to let people know that it's okay to talk. It's just an amazing story, man. And again, I'm thankful for the opportunity just to hear young guys' stories. I'm 45.
I'm blessed to finally meet you. You cool with everybody I know. It's my first time meeting you.
Appreciate you, man. Definitely, man. So I'm just excited because I told my wife on the way here, I said, we're just gonna wing it. I talked to you earlier with your dad. I said we're gonna wing it and we're gonna let it come from here. You don't need a script for things. Script don't work with this.
It don't work.
So anybody that think this is scripted, no. This is what you call from the heart. This is just me getting a feel for him getting a feel for me, and we vibe. That's what we did here. And anything else you might want to tell a young athlete that may be in your shoes? I know you just said a lot. Is there anything that we may have missed that you want to throw out there to someone right now that could be dealing with what you've dealt with?
Two things for the athletes, the kids, the students. Yes, it matters because you want to get a scholarship to help your parents out or help the neighborhood out or just help, financial reasons. But don't stress over it. My word is it don't matter till junior year. But before that, just have fun. Enjoy being a team player because being a team player is what people watch on film. Thank you. No matter what sport you're in. Being a team player is what gets you scholarships. Not touchdowns, not all that fancy stuff. A team player. The best players from Wisconsin were team players. T.J. Watt did not get drafted until he played his third season. And that third season he played, that was his first year playing defense. Went crazy, being a team player. And for the parents, your kid's not in high school, it does not matter. Let them have fun, let them play. Competition does not matter. For the parents in high school, do what you can to get your kids to practice and whatever you want to. But just let them have fun and let them figure it out. Don't stress them out, because they're already going through stress enough. Let them get their money. That's all I got to say.
He couldn't have said it better when it comes to the parents. Let
Don't
your
matter.
children be children. We understand that you want the best for little Johnny. You want the best but at the end of the day, Let them be children.
Let them have fun, especially if you're in Little League. I did, like I said, I coached Little League, and the conversations I had with my own family members who got kids at 6, 7, 8 years old, like, I want to be around the best competition now, and this, that, I want this in his head now, and if he's scared now, I can see it, and I can just pull him out it early. I'm like, well, why you want to put the fear in the kid? Well, just let the boy have fun. Let him
He already done it. Give him a chance to
Give
go
him a
out there,
chance.
and if he like it, great. If he don't, put him in something else.
Just something else. It's the whole world of activities.
This is my saying to my wife. Will tell you, I tell kids all the time: football ain't for everybody. It ain't a sport that everybody can play. It's beautiful with shorts and a t-shirt on when you're playing 7-on-7, but when they put that helmet on and they bring in that wood, it's a totally different game. Whole different game. And once you take one of those, as I call them, slobber knockers to the head or to the side of the face, either you want it or you don't.
Because lining up against me, I was
you.
a person who cried before every game. Not because I was scared, not because I was like fearful or anything. I cried with my helmet in my hand, like, oh, I'm about to knock somebody out. Wait, kick off. Ding! Gone.
Yep.
Tears gone.
So you got guys like that.
I'm ready.
So it ain't for you. If your kid don't want to do it,
So
don't make them do it. Because more than likely, there's a reason why they don't want to do it. It ain't for everybody. It's not for everybody. And you're trying to force you, I'm trying to get you here so you get the scholarship. That don't mean, just because he playing don't mean it's coming either. It don't. It just doesn't.
That's
So
another thing though. Use the benefits of the sport, use the resources, use the advantages. If you got a scholarship, you got some type of money, and you're in a school, and you already kind of figured out, okay, this might not be the path for me, stay a part of this team, stay using the resources, because that name tag you got saying football or whatever, it's going to take you a long way. All I got to say.
Good stuff. Well, I think that about does it for this session of Candid Conversations here with the Herb Adderley 26 Foundation.
Now, time.
I want to thank featured athlete Patrick Johnson II for coming through and sharing his wonderful, inspiring story of redemption with everyone. And
Appreciate it.
want to thank, again, the foundation itself for giving me the platform to be the moderator. I love stuff like this. This is beautiful. And we have so much more in store, and we hope to have Pat back. We want to get Pat maybe to try to do more with us, because being our first Break the Ice interview, it's important for people to see. Again, I can't stress where you were, and they can look at it and go, okay,
Feeling that way though.
and that's amazing. That's amazing to see for that kid that think they can't get back,
And I can see that.
that never got to the level that you've been at. That gives them hope, because if you can get back, considering where you were, and they not nowhere near the level you were, they can get back. That's what I'm saying. That's the inspiration that you bring that you probably don't even
But it
realize.
started off the field. Everything on the field starts off the field. For real.
It does.
Mentality, all that.
It does. So, I want to thank you tuning in.
But that's insane.
That's a wrap.
Interception for a
Yeah,
touchdown.
hope that God can defend him. Yeah, got the world trying to kill him. Yeah.